It had begun as a noble pursuit, a groundbreaking experiment in genetic engineering that promised to revolutionize the field of medicine. Dr. Evelyn Blackwood, a brilliant and ambitious young scientist, had dedicated years of her life to perfecting a process that could rewrite the very building blocks of life. With the backing of a powerful pharmaceutical corporation, Evelyn had assembled a team of the brightest minds in the industry, all driven by the tantalizing prospect of unlocking the secrets of the human genome. Their goal was to develop a treatment that could cure the most debilitating diseases, ushering in a new era of hope and healing. But as the project progressed, Evelyn became increasingly consumed by her work, driven by an insatiable desire to push the boundaries of what was possible. She began to experiment with more radical techniques, delving into the realms of genetic manipulation that she knew were fraught with dangers. "We're on the cusp of something truly revolutionary," Evelyn would tell her colleagues, her eyes gleaming with a manic intensity. "If we can just unlock the key to harnessing the body's own regenerative capabilities, we can change the world." And so the research continued, with Evelyn and her team working tirelessly in the sterile confines of their high-security lab. Test subjects were carefully selected, their DNA meticulously altered under the microscope. The initial results were promising, with the subjects displaying remarkable healing abilities and heightened physical attributes. But then, the unthinkable happened. One of the test subjects, a young man named Liam, began to exhibit alarming changes, his body contorting and mutating in ways that defied all scientific understanding. Evelyn and her team watched in horror as Liam's limbs elongated, his skin hardening into a thick chitinous carapace. The transformation was both terrifying and awe-inspiring, a grotesque display of the power they had unleashed. Panic swept through the lab as Liam's rampage began. The creature that had once been a man smashed through the reinforced containment chambers, its razor-sharp claws slicing through metal and flesh with equal ease. Evelyn and her colleagues fled in terror, their cries drowned out by the creature's deafening roars. In the chaos that followed, the mutation spread like a virus, infecting other test subjects and transforming them into monstrosities that stalked the halls of the lab, their hunger for destruction insatiable. Entire teams of scientists fell victim to the horrors they had created, their bodies torn apart by the very abominations they had sought to control. Evelyn, trapped in the nightmarish hellscape of her own design, realized with sickening clarity that she had gone too far. The ambition that had once driven her had now become her undoing, and she knew that if she couldn't find a way to stop the contagion, the entire world would pay the price. With a desperate, last-ditch effort, Evelyn initiated the lab's emergency containment protocols, sealing off the facility and triggering a series of powerful decontamination procedures. The creature-like forms of her former colleagues dissolved into pools of viscous, corrosive fluid, their agonized cries echoing through the halls as the purge took hold. As the last of the monstrosities succumbed to the cleansing process, Evelyn sank to her knees, her hands shaking as she surveyed the devastation around her. The grand vision she had once held lay in ruins, the cost of her ambition a price too high to bear. With a heavy heart, Evelyn knew that she could never reveal the truth of what had happened here. The world must never know the horrors that had been unleashed within these walls. And so, with a deep, steadying breath, she turned and walked away, the weight of her guilt and the burden of her silence heavy on her shoulders. The lab, once a beacon of scientific promise, had become a tomb, a grim reminder of the dangers that lurked at the edge of human knowledge and the catastrophic consequences that could arise when unchecked ambition is allowed to run rampant.